Hi dear students, welcome to GnaanaDeeksha 3. I hope you are all fine and safe at your homes. I am M. Sashirekha, working as TGT English at TTWREIS Girls Parigi Freedom School. Before starting my session, I would like to narrate an incident. Mohan is a student who always gets first in his class and who was the most talented person in his class, who can solve the problems in maths, good at writing stories, essays, poems in English, and he was also a good sportsman also. Though he had all these qualities, he was poor to express his views with others in English, that is, he was weak in English. On the other hand, Rohan is a student who was average in his studies and he was very brilliant in speaking English and sharing his views with others with English as a medium of communication, which he learned from the English coaching classes and the British English courses which he got from his school. Mohan cleared all his primary upper secondary exams with 90% of marks and Rohan with only 55%. Though Mohan was got a seat in the college and he was also eligible for the scholarships from the college, Rohan manages to get the seat in the same college by paying more fees and donations. Both Mohan and Rohan, they became friends and started to share their views, but they could not get the talent they lacked the most. Mohan remained the top scorer in the class, whereas Rohan was very brilliant in his communication skills. They both became friends and the time passed, but they could not gain the knowledge they were lacking. Mohan and Rohan, they got a call from an interview where a company promised to pay them 4.75 lakhs per annum to those who get selected at the interview. So the interview process began and the first round was to speak on the given topic for about 10 minutes. The topic given was technology and its boon to our society. Mohan gathered all the points which he learned at his schools, whereas Rohan gathered or used his day-to-day happenings to enhance the information, and he got an edge over the interview and he was cleared that round. The second round was to check the aptitude and it was to test the language of English. Both Mohan and Rohan cleared the round because already we discussed that Mohan was very good in writing, whereas Rohan was experienced in attempting the British English courses. He became successful in the second round. Coming to the final round was a panel interview where there were 6 interviewers and the interviewers were asked to test the ability of the individuals one by one. The first one to go was Mr. Mohan, and they have to test the qualities regarding speaking. So they have asked few questions like their educational background, family background, and the questions related to their subjects, positives, negatives, and they have to speak on a topic from any one of the topic, that is the topics they have given is your favorite teacher and your role model. So they have to speak on the given topic for 10 minutes. Though Mohan became successful in attempting all the questions, subject related questions about himself, but he failed to speak on the given topic for 10 minutes. Whereas Rohan, he was speaking about the topic for 10 minutes and he failed to attempt the academic questions, and he attempted only 2 out of 5 questions. Whom do you think was selected, children? Yes, Rohan was selected. Why? What is the reason? Rohan was free to express his views on the given topic for 10 minutes, whereas Mohan, who is brilliant right from the beginning of his career, he could not speak on the given topic. So that is the reason Mohan was not selected and Rohan was selected. What did you understand from this? Yes, it's because only communication. So from this we come to know that communication plays an important role in today's competitive world. If we have a good knowledge of academics, we also should possess the communication skills along with the good accent. So this must be mandatory along with your academic standards. So as a part of this communication, the most important one is speaking. So I hope you understood that communication is the most important in today's competitive world. So now let us begin with our session. So now I would like to start my topic. My topic is reported speech. So let me introduce my topic, the objectives of my topic. So the interview process began, and the first round was to speak on the given topic for about 10 minutes. The topic given was technology and its boon to our society. Mohan gathered all the points which he learned at his schools, whereas Rohan gathered or used his day-to-day happenings to enhance the information, and he got an edge over the interview and he was cleared that round. The second round was to check the aptitude, and it was to test the language of English. Both Mohan and Rohan cleared the round because already we discussed that Mohan was very good in writing, whereas Rohan was experienced in attempting the British English courses. He became successful in the second round. Coming to the final round was a panel interview where there were 6 interviewers, and the interviewers were asked to test the ability of the individuals one by one. The first one to go was Mr. Mohan, and they have to test the qualities regarding speaking. So they have asked few questions like their educational background, family background, and the questions related to their subjects, positives, negatives, and they have to speak on a topic from any one of the topic. That is, the topics they have given is your favorite teacher and your role model. So they have to speak on the given topic for 10 minutes. Though Mohan became successful in attempting all the questions, subject related questions about himself, but he failed to speak on the given topic for 10 minutes. Whereas Rohan, he was speaking about the topic for 10 minutes and he failed to attempt the academic questions, and he attempted only 2 out of 5 questions. Whom do you think was selected, children? Yes, Rohan was selected. Why? What is the reason? Rohan was free to express his views on the given topic for 10 minutes, whereas Mohan, who is brilliant right from the beginning of his career, he could not speak on the given topic. So that is the reason Mohan was not selected and Rohan was selected. What did you understand from this? Yes, It's because only communication. So from this we come to know that communication plays an important role in today's competitive world. If we have a good knowledge of academics, we also should possess the communication skills along with the good accent. So this must be mandatory along with your academic standards. So as a part of this communication, the most important one is speaking. So I hope you understood that communication is the most important in today's competitive world. So now let us begin with our session. So now I would like to start my topic. My topic is reported speech. So let me introduce my topic, the objectives of my topic. So coming to my topic, it's all about speech. After this session, you will be able to define speech and differentiate direct speech from indirect speech and convert different sentences from direct speech to indirect speech and vice versa. So now coming to what is speech. Speech. Whatever we speak to report is called a speech. It is possible to report what others have said in two ways. So sometimes it becomes necessary for us to report what one person has said. That is possible in two ways. They are direct speech and indirect speech. So it is direct speech and indirect speech. So direct speech, the words which are put within the inverted commas and the actual reproduction of the speaker's words. So direct speech is nothing but it's a conversation between two persons. It's a direct contact and direct conversation between two persons. It's an actual reproduction of the speaker's words, and the direct speech is put within the inverted commas. So let me write an example for direct speech. Ram said to Raghu, I am on the way. So this sentence is said to be in direct speech. So Ram said to Raghu, I am on the way, is said to be in direct speech. So there are two parts in direct speech. They are reporting part and reported part. Reporting part and reported part. Reporting part, the part outside the quotation marks is known as reporting part. That is, it tells us who said to whom. Reported part, it gives the speaker's words, what has been reported. So in this sentence, in the above sentence, Ram said to Raghu is reporting part, whereas I am on the way is reported part. I am on the way is reported part. So the verb said to, the verb said to in the reporting part is said to be reporting verb. Said to is called reporting verb. So I hope you understood what is direct speech. Now let's move on to what is indirect speech. Indirect speech, it gives the substance of the speaker's actual words. So whatever the speaker has spoken to the first person, second person and the third person are involved in this indirect speech. So, the same example can be written in indirect speech as Ram told Raghu that he was on the way. So, the same sentence, Ram said to Raghu, I am on the way, is in direct speech, whereas Ram told Raghu that he was on the way is indirect speech. Here we are conveying the same, but we are not using the punctuation marks. The same is conveyed to the person without changing the meaning of the words. So, this is all about indirect speech. Now, let us move on to how to change direct speech to indirect speech. So, there are 5 steps in the process of changing direct speech to indirect speech. The first step is change of the reporting verb. Second step, omission of punctuation marks. Third step, change of personal pronouns. Fourth step, change of tense in the reported part. And fifth one is a change in the pointer words. So, if you are familiar with all these 5 steps, you will be able to transform the direct speech into indirect speech. Now, coming to the first step, change of reporting verb. So, change of reporting verb. So, the reporting verb said to, said, say, says, says to, all these will change to different reporting verbs in the indirect speech based upon the type of sentence. I hope you all know different types of sentences. We had a class on sentences in the last session. So, if it is a declarative sentence, there is a change in the reporting verb. The reporting verb said to, said will be transformed to told, said, say, says, and suitable conjunction that is used. Let me write an example. Ram said, I am happy. So, this is a sentence which is in direct speech. Now, we are going to transform this into indirect speech. Said becomes told. As it is a declarative sentence, it becomes told, and Ram told that he was happy. Ram told that he was happy. So, this is a declarative sentence, and said becomes told while transforming it into indirect speech. Now, coming to the interrogative, let us see the table, children, and make a note of this table. So, if it is an interrogative sentence and that too yes or no type questions. So, yes or no type questions starts with helping verb and ends with a question mark. So, the reporting verb in the direct speech said to, said, all these transforms to questioned, inquired, interrogated in the indirect speech, and the conjunction if or whether is used in the indirect speech. WH questions. So, WH questions you already know, it starts with the WH, that is where, when, how. The reporting verb in the direct speech say, say to transforms to question, inquire, interrogate, and WH is used. Imperative sentence. So, imperative sentence, the reporting verb said, said to, say, says, it transforms to ordered, commanded, requested in the indirect speech, and the suitable conjunction that is used. Exclamatory. So, exclamatory is nothing but which conveys surprise, happiness, sorrow. Yes, said, said to, it changes to exclaimed with joy, sorrow, happiness, etc. And suitable conjunction that is used to transform it into indirect speech. So this is the first process. If you are familiar with this table, you will be able to convert the different types of sentences into indirect speech. Now moving on to the next slide, interrogative sentences. And the second step is omission of punctuation marks. So the punctuation marks like quotation marks and the comma which is placed between the reported part and the reporting part are completely eliminated in indirect speech, and full stop is placed at the end of each sentence, whether it is any sentence. So there are no commas and no quotation marks in the indirect speech. Next, third step is change of the personal pronouns. So the change in the personal pronouns in the reported part must be made suitably. It is based upon the speaker, speaker's listener, reporter and the reporter's listener. See, for example, the teacher said to me, you have improved your performance. So the teacher said to me, you have improved your performance. So the same sentence can be changed into indirect speech by changing the pronouns. So the teacher told me. See, here, observe children, here we are transforming the said to told. The teacher told me that I had improved my performance. I had improved my performance. Carefully observe children here how the pronouns are changing in the reported part. So here you became I. Your became my. So this is how the pronouns will change. So the overall aim is to convey the meaning whatever the speaker wants to convey from direct speech to indirect speech. The intention of the speaker must be given clearly to the third person. It should not create any chaos or any misunderstanding between the people. She said to him, my work is completed. She told him that her work was completed. So here carefully observe how the pronouns are changing without changing the meaning of the words. Now coming to the next step, change of the tense. Change of tense and verb in the reported part. Change of tense and verb in the reported part. See here, observe the table. So when the verb in the direct speech, that too in the reported part, is in V1 or V1S form, we have to change the verb in the reported part to V2. If it is V2, you should change it into had plus V3. So let us look at the table and write one example. Ravi said, comma, I went to temple. Ravi said, I went to temple. So the same can be transformed into indirect speech by observing the table. So here Seema, in the reported part, the verb went is in which form? That is in V2 form. So how we have to transform that? If the verb in the direct speech is in V2 form, we are going to transform it into had plus V3. So Ravi said that he had gone to temple. He had gone to temple. So here went. Went is transformed. The verb went, which is in V2, is transformed to had gone. Had plus V3 form. So let me. The teacher said. The teacher said they did their work. They did their work. So here, what is the verb in the reported part? Yes, did. Did. As per the table, when you observe, did changes to had done. So the teacher said, that they had done their work. They had done their work. So if you are familiar with this table, you can prepare some more examples by framing different sentences. Now coming to the next step, change of pointer words. So the last step and the important step in changing direct speech to indirect speech is that you have to change the adjectives and adverbs which are showing nearness to that of distance. So here we have the transformations from direct speech to indirect speech. So change of pointer words. Change of pointer words. So let us observe the table. Now becomes then, today becomes that day, tomorrow becomes the next day. So here Vinay said to Ramu, I went yesterday. I went yesterday. So Vinay told Ramu that he had gone. Yesterday changes to the previous day in our as per our table. So had gone the previous day. So yesterday changes to the previous day. So one more example. Hanif said, these are my clothes. Hanif said that these are my clothes. So this sentence changes to Hanif said that those. These changes to those children. Those are his clothes. So here observe the changes, the pointer words which expresses the time. That adjectives will be changed to yesterday changes to the previous day or the day after before. Next month changes to the following month. Just becomes immediately and ago becomes before. So you have to be aware of all these 5 steps when you want to change from direct speech to indirect speech. Now coming to your let us see what you have learnt. See, he said, I went yesterday. So the same statement in the direct speech changes to the previous day. They said, we live here. They said that they lived there. So children, where do you find this direct speech and indirect speech? Yes, already we have discussed that direct speech is a conversation between two people, and whenever we speak to someone, that becomes direct speech. And we find the examples of indirect speech in short stories. Yes, whenever we read some stories, we can say that it's in indirect speech. And the articles which are printed in the newspapers are the examples for the indirect speech. So now let us recapitulate what we have learnt. See the first one. Rajesh said, I bought a car yesterday. Can anyone say the answer for this? Yes, it's a declarative sentence. So based on your table, the first table which we have seen, Rajesh said, I bought a car yesterday. So it becomes Rajesh said that he bought a car the previous day. Yesterday becomes previous day. So Rajesh said that he had bought a car the previous day. So here bought is in V2 form. So it changes to had plus V3. Had bought a car the previous day. Next, second example. See the second example, children. He said, I saw a book here. So this is also a declarative sentence. So here that conjunction will be used, and saw. Saw is in V2, and he said that conjunction is used in order to remove the punctuation marks. He had seen. So had, saw is changed to had seen a book. Here becomes there. Here becomes there. She said to him, why don't you go today? So here it is a question which says WH. It is a WH question. So she said to him, why don't you go today? What is the conjunction we used for WH? Yes, we use same WH. So she asked. Said to becomes asked. She asked him, why don't he go the She asked him, why don't he go the same day? Why don't he go the same day? He said to me, where is the post office? So he asked me where the post office was. And fifth one, Newton said the earth is a big magnet. So here we have an exception. The present tense in the reported part does not change if it expresses universal truths, scientific facts and quotations. So here the fifth one is a scientific fact. So Newton said. So here we are using Newton said that the earth is a big magnet. Newton said that the earth is a big magnet. So these are all the examples which we have studied till now. If you are familiar with all these 5 rules, you will be able to do this. And coming to your assignment, children, read an article from the newspaper and list out the sentences in direct speech and indirect speech. So refer to an article from the newspaper and find out the sentences in direct speech and the sentences in indirect speech. Last but not the least, I would like to thank Mr. R.S. Praveen Kumar for providing such an opportunity through this teaching learning process during this corona period. And I would like to thank TSAT for organizing such a program. And I would like to thank our principal, Mrs. Y. Sumati, for her cooperation. Thank you.